Hello. Welcome back to the podcast. In today's episode, this is sharing my journey of how I became sort of what I would call spiritually awake. And the moment that all happened for me, um, and basically how it's completely transformed not just my business, but also my life in general. And this is something that I feel really passionately about because I have seen, like, my eyes have been opened. I literally feel like I've been woken up from everything. Like, it's made me see things in a different way. I see people in a different way. I really get to observe like life and business and other people and everything in a totally different way to what I did before. And this all stems from a rock bottom moment. And it's really interesting that I'm recording this episode today because actually the oracle card that I pulled today was in a temple, which is all around tuning into the portal of your heart, like following your intuition and really going with speaking from the heart as well. So this episode today is all like me sharing stuff from my heart, and I'm really hoping this is going to resonate with somebody that is listening to this that just needed to hear this today, to know that you're not alone, that you're not going through this on your own, that it's not you. If things aren't shifting in your life or your business and you just feel frustrated, if you feel like things just aren't moving at the pace you want, this episode is for you because I totally get how that feels. So this is for the woman who currently feels like you have been doing all of the things, you've been following all the advice, you tick all those boxes, you're building the business, you're raising children if you have children, but it still feels like there is something missing. And the thing is, you may not even realize that you've actually lost who you are, you've lost yourself until one day you wake up and you realize that you're just going through the motions. You're literally living day to day life, doing the same thing. It's the same routine every single day. You're trying the same strategies, you're trying the same tactics, you're throwing spaghetti at the wall, and nothing seems to be working. And that was me. That was exactly what happened to me when I literally woke up one day and I was like, there has to be more available to me. So, in this episode, I want to share with you my journey into spirituality, into self healing and energetics, and what it really looked like for me to wake up to who I truly am and to really step into and claim my power. And I know that phrase gets thrown around everywhere, but it really is a case of claiming your power back to you. We have everything we need inside of us. It's just most of us, through society conditioning, through external factors, and hearing other people's thoughts and letting that impact us, is we lose that connection. And the thing is, for me, is because for a long time I didn't even know that I was disconnected. I thought it was just tiredness. Like, when you become a new mum, nobody prepares you for that shift, that you literally become a whole new person. You're not the same person anymore. Nobody prepares you for that. You get months of thinking about what your life is going to look like and how things are going to go and what the nursery will look like and the things that you're going to do as a family when you've got the new baby and everything. But you never imagine that you will physically change as a person. Things that you think about when you have a child is totally different. Like, your mind's everything changes. It's like the butterfly effect. And when you emerge into a new mum, obviously everything is all new and fresh and you've got this beautiful baby and everything, but you don't realize that actually inside you kind of lose who you were before and you become a new version of yourself. And that is a beautiful thing if you know how to go through that process. But the thing with society is nobody teaches you that. Nobody is there to guide you through that transition of becoming a mother and mentally preparing yourself for how that is going to shift your body changes, how you'll think about things, the baby brain, like how everything, your perspective and priorities, everything changes, and your sole purpose becomes, I need to be a mother for this child, but you kind of lose yourself in the process. So when you know how to harness this, it's a really beautiful thing because it means that you can actually show up not only as a better partner, a better friend, a better mother, but you just feel better in yourself because you actually know who you are. So I thought it was just tiredness. I thought it was just being a mum. I thought it was business stress because, like, I was just juggling all of the things. What I didn't realize is that I'd completely lost who I was. And after becoming a mother, not once, not twice, but 3 times, I was pouring into everybody else. I was basically giving everybody else my power, and basically just giving my power away and putting myself right at the bottom of the priority list. Like, I was never a priority. I kept pushing, I kept trying to do all of the things. I was focusing on all of the strategies that I'd learned through coaches, through mentors, through courses, and everything that was supposed to work. But the truth, if I'm totally honest, I was exhausted, I was overwhelmed, and I was completely out of alignment. And the thing is, I would follow strategies, some would work, but then some wouldn't. And I was left leaving things like courses and programs and coaches, feeling like there must be something wrong with me. And it was a huge confidence knock. And this is something I hear so much, because for the majority of courses, programs where you hear things like the exact strategies or the exact methods or the exact things that are going to help you to get to XYZ, following those methods, they will work if you follow them, like down to every single detail. They will work 100% for the people that are aligned to those strategies, for the people that are meant to follow those strategies, because it is aligned to their soul's purpose, their blueprint, everything. But for other people, they could follow every single step and not actually get any results or not feel like they're getting anywhere further. And those people that follow those strategies, that witness the success of others, and this was me, by the way, I'm sharing this from my own personal experience, those people that go through those same strategies, you are left feeling like it must be you. There must be something wrong. Like, you can't possibly go through the exact same system as somebody else. They get results and you don't. And I honestly believed it was me. And every time this happened, it was a huge confidence knock. And it really damaged my own like mental health, my ability. Like, it made me want to give up. And in fact, today I realized that over the 9 years, nearly 9 years of being an entrepreneur, it's actually longer, but full entrepreneurship, 9 years, I have applied for over 70 jobs. Over 70 jobs, because at times in my business journey, there have been points where I've just thought, it's not working. I just need to get a normal job. Like, it's just too hard. And of those 70 plus jobs that I've applied for, I had one interview. I did actually get the job, and it was just some freelance design work that I only did for a few months. But that is insane. Like, I hit points in my business journey where I actually thought I was ready to give up. I was ready to just get a normal job. And even doing that and not hearing back from those applications, again, another huge confidence knock. So when you are constantly reminded that you are not good enough, because that's essentially what is happening there, or how you can see things when you're not getting the results, when you're not getting offered the interviews, when business isn't flowing, when you're setting yourself goals and you can't seem to achieve them and yet others can. Every time that happens, it is a confidence knock. It's damaging to your soul. And it wasn't until I hit a really low point in 2023 that I felt this pull. I would say this was a rock bottom moment for me. I had completely lost all confidence in myself. I had lost like where I wanted to be going. I found it really hard to even create a vision of what I wanted in my life and in my business, because I just thought, what is the point? Like, I can't seem to be shifting anything. And the difficult thing when I talk about this is my business was actually working. Like, I was getting clients, I was getting insane results for my clients, but I just felt so disconnected in myself. But I felt this nudge. I had this inner voice. I was telling myself, literally woke up one day and I was like, there has to be more available. Like, there has to be. I cannot understand how I'm doing all of these things. I'm working so hard. I'm raising 3 beautiful children. Like, all of these things are happening. Why am I feeling so low and disconnected with who I am? And I just happened to come across I think it was a piece of content that Jess Cunningham, if you don't follow her, go check her out because she's amazing. And it was about belief coding. So somebody was training to do belief coding, which is kind of like timeline therapy. So if you go back and listen to one of the previous episodes, I have somebody called Imi that did a session on timeline, what is it called, therapy. So belief coding is basically where you go back to a past version of yourself and you recode your subconscious mind, your beliefs, and it will be things that happen usually within between birth and when you're 7 years old. There will be things that happened, conversations you heard, experiences you had, feelings, emotions, everything that happen within that time frame that are so ingrained into your subconscious mind that they play on a loop without you even knowing. And those subconscious mind limiting beliefs and blocks can actually stop you from getting the results that you want, whether that is in your life or your business. And I didn't know anything about this. So I said to the person that was offering these sessions as part of her training, I was like, yeah, I'll give it a go. Like, I'm interested. Like, I'm just feeling really rubbish at the moment. Like, what can you do? And I had this session. And the first session, she actually did 2 sessions for me. The very first session took me back to, I was 3 years old. And your memory doesn't even normally go back that far, but obviously subconsciously you remember everything, every single detail. And it took me back to a conversation I'd heard about money and an argument. And I had then caused this belief in myself that money caused arguments, that actually you don't want money because money is a bad thing. If you have money, you're going to argue about it. It's going to cause people to leave. It's going to cause confrontation. And I'm not somebody that likes confrontation by any shape or form at all, even as a fiery Aries. That is just not me at all. So I had been causing blocks in myself that was actually stopping me and holding me back from achieving the financial goals and like everything that I had on my vision board originally. So every time I was working with coaches and courses and everything, I was setting these big goals and I achieved it once. And interestingly, after I achieved that high income goal in 1 month, my next 3 months following that were not good at all. And it was because in subconsciously I was telling myself actually having that much is not safe. We don't want that. We need to get rid of it and we don't want to attract that again. Because subconsciously from that 3-year-old version of myself, it wasn't safe to hold it. Now, this is why I feel so strongly about mindset, belief coding, subconscious mind, and all of this work and spirituality, because you can follow any program down to the last detail. And this isn't just surface level mindset work. This is deep energy. This is deep, like overcoming limiting beliefs that stem right the way back through from your childhood. Because when you start to do this, you can start to shift and wake up and you can rewrite how your brain is actually holding you back from getting the results you desire. So if you're someone listening to this now and you have gone through multiple things, you've done all the things, you're really working so hard and things aren't shifting, I would put money on it that you have a limiting belief that is running in the background in your subconscious mind from your childhood. Now, there are so many different ways that you can recode this. So you can do belief coding, you can do timeline therapy, hypnosis. Like, there are so many different options for you. So definitely go back and check through my previous episodes. But when you can start to rewire your subconscious mind, you literally release those mental blocks, which is exactly what they are. They are blocks. They're causing you to not move forward and not attract the results that you want. When you can overcome them, then things flow more easily. But this is why I feel so strongly about this work and why I work a lot with energy with my clients, with their building their brand from the inside out, because what will work for one person won't work for somebody else. We all have different, I will talk about it in a minute, but we all have different human design. We all have different blueprints. We all have different beliefs. We all have different values. We all have different personality types and everything. So what works for one person won't work for somebody else, which is why I feel so strongly that all of my offers, I want to get the results for my clients. I want to support them in a way that is totally aligned to them, and why every single one of my offers includes one-to-one support or is fully one-to-one. Because for me, it's, although I can create a transformation, I can wake people up, I can help them with their branding and their visuals and all of that kind of stuff. But when I'm doing it in a larger group setting where I don't have that one-to-one access, for me, it just feels uncomfortable because I want to know that everybody is getting results. And I know that's probably a limiting belief I need to overcome. But right now, I like to know that every single one of the clients that come into my world, they get a result. Like, that is for me the most important thing, because I know how frustrating it is when you don't get results, because that was me over and over again. And the thing is, when you can start to tap into this world, your eyes are open to this whole new playing field of how you can live life and how you can run your business. So that was just my very first experience of subconscious mind work. And I was like, okay, that's really weird. This person has literally taken me back to my 3-year-old version of myself. then I came across human design and I discovered my human design type, which I was like, what the hell even is this? I was then told what my human design type was. I didn't really know what to do with it, but it did open up my eyes to understanding blocks that had happened before, things that weren't working for me. And I realized it was because it was actually out of alignment with my human design. So your human design is your soul blueprint, basically. It is from the moment you were born. So the minute that you were born on a specific day, it's all linked to energetics, astrology, and everything, but it's your blueprint. So it's how you function, how you see things. It talks all about like what kind of profile are you. So I am a 6-2 generator, which basically means that I am a leader. I like to lead other people. I like to empower other people. I'm here to make a change. But the 2 is the hermit. So I love to spend time on my own. The other thing that opened up my human design was I am a cycle completer. So I don't like things to be open. I don't like long, lengthy programs. I don't like outstanding things. And interestingly, I was always the kid at school that always did their homework the day it was set. I didn't like to have deadlines on things. When I've planned anything, I've always got straight into the planning. I've done spreadsheets. I've made sure everything was organized because I like things to be done and to be able to check them off. I've never been one of those people who has liked to leave things to the last minute because I like things to be completed, which is why if I have a client project that goes on for a long period of time, I start to lose the energetic connection to it. So actually I've realized from doing various programs and offers that 6 months is the maximum I should be doing anything for, ongoing with the same client or clients, because that is kind of my maximum capacity in terms of completing that cycle. And this has all come from understanding my human design, and every single one of you listening to this will be different. So what works really well for me may not work for you, but it's about finding the alignment with you that helps you to map out a business and your strategy that matches your profile, that feels good to you. Because when things feel good to you and they are in alignment, and I know I keep saying that word over and over again, but it really is about that, things click and they flow so much easier because you're not going against your very sort of genetic design makeup. You're literally flowing with what your soul purpose is. In January 2024 was when I first started getting into manifestation. Now, I'd heard manifestation like multiple times before, never done any work at all. But when I started to tap into all of the energetics, understanding human design and the belief coding, I was like, there must be something here because I'm noticing the shifts in so many different areas of my life from doing these other areas. Let's just have a look at manifestation. And I came across Alex Tripod, who was the first person I connected with in terms of manifestation. And I religiously listened to her audios every single night for months, literally months. And in fact, no, it wasn't January 2024, it was before then. Anyway, I listened to it for months and I just started to notice things that were shifting in my reality. I started getting random payments received into my bank account. I started to get clients just come out the blue that were literally like absolute soulmate clients that I'd never spoken to before. I started to get invited to opportunities that I was manifesting, like speaking opportunities. I said to myself, I wanted to get paid for speaking. So I started to visualize myself speaking on stage or speaking in rooms with people that were totally aligned to me. And then after like a good sort of 30 days, because they say it can take up to 90 days for manifestations, for you to rewire your brain and for your brain to start bringing things to your reality. But after 30 days, I started to get invited to these speaking opportunities. And I thought this could be a coincidence, but I'm a true believer now in that manifestation is so powerful when it is harnessed and used in the right way. Now, to give you a really quick example of this, actually, I have been teaching my kids about this, and well, just my older girls, because my youngest boy is only 3, so he just wouldn't get it. My oldest daughter, she's 9 years old, and she really wanted to do a film festival that is happening at her school. And I had an email a couple of days ago, or a few days ago, that told me that she hadn't got a part, and she was really upset about it. And her energy then shifted. So she'd gone from being upset to then thinking, okay, like I think there will be a space available for me. And she said it out loud, and I was like, okay, that's really like good of you. You're a 9-year-old, like you could be really upset about this for a while, but actually she's chosen to say, no, there's going to be a space available for me. And she started like saying about we use my rose quartz crystal pendant to ask our guides about like yes no questions. And we said, like, is there going to be a space available? And it said yes. Anyway, yesterday I was literally just getting ready to go and pick her up from school, and it was the first day of this film festival. I get a phone call from the school 10 minutes before I leave to say there's been a space opened up. Would she like the space? Of course, I said yeah. And she was like, see, mum, it works, it works. And I'm like, that is so powerful. Like, and it could just be a coincidence. And some of you listening to this might be, yeah, it's just a coincidence. I am a true believer in when you put something out into the universe is always listening. It's always on your back. It's always on your side. It's always giving you signs and listening to what it is that you want. And it's going to help you to achieve those things. And it's not just about, oh, I want that dream house. Oh, there's the dream house. Like, it's about energy work. It's about believing in yourself and having that clarity. And this is why I love doing this work, is because when I do it, my children are now seeing how powerful this work is, and they're starting to implement it into their life as well. And I think what a beautiful thing that they're already doing it at this young age, that is going to support them and guide them throughout all the different transitions in their life that will then help them going into adulthood. And I think that is just such a beautiful, powerful thing. And the realization for me when I started tapping into all this work is that I wasn't broken. I was just being invited to remember who I truly was. And that remembrance is when everything changed for me. So today, I want to give you some quick things that you can do today to help you to understand where you may have sort of energetic blocks, resistances, where there might be things that are holding you back from achieving the things that you actually want in your life. Now, energetics are in every area of your life. It's from the clothes in your wardrobe, it's from the food that you eat, it's from the good things that you do. So your like mindset work, it's through your exercise, through breath work, it's through the offers that you have, your business, how you're showing up, whether you put makeup on in the morning, doing your hair, like all of those things. It's all energy all around you. Now, if you imagine you start your day with a bucket of water, or just let's just say it was an empty bucket to begin with. If you wake up and the very first thing you do is you decide to, okay, I'm just going to go and listen to an audio or read a bit of my book for 5 minutes. That's filling your bucket up with good energy. Then if you're going to go and eat a nice healthy breakfast, again, you're putting good energy into you. If you decide I'm going to change my earrings today rather than just keep the same ones in you slept in, that was a thing that I was doing for a long time. And in fact, that's something I've only recently shifted, is changing my earrings every day. Another good thing into your bucket. All of these good things, so going for a walk, doing your deep breathing, listening to like saying affirmations, writing affirmations, journaling, doing something that you enjoy doing, whether it's dancing, colouring in, if it's reading a book, like listening to a podcast, like all of those good things, that's all good stuff that is going into your bucket. Every time you do anything, like you wake up and the first thing you do is check your phone, you're giving energy to that phone. Like, that's not actually serving you unless you are picking it up to listen to like an audio or do something good for your own well-being and mindset. If you're doing it to go straight onto social media, you're giving energy away. So you're actually taking it rather than filling your bucket up. If you do things like say yes to something that you really wanted to say no to, you're giving energy away. If you hear something that triggers you, again, energy is being taken from you. And it's very easy to see how over the course of a day, your energy is just being given away to all these different things. You're saying yes, yes, yes. You're doing a job you don't enjoy doing. You've got a client that you don't really want to work with. You've got an offer that doesn't feel aligned and someone's just booked it. Oh God, I've got to do that now. That's energy giving away. All of this stuff is energy giving away. You need to be able to fill your bucket up with good stuff. So this is why wearing clothes that make you feel good, no matter whether you're sitting in the house or you're going out, like I'm not saying you need to dress up every day, but there is a huge energy difference between a person that literally wakes up in the day, puts on a pair of joggers and a hoodie because they're not going out anywhere, they're just sitting at home, they want to be comfortable, and they're just going to veg out on the sofa, maybe get their laptop out. The energy with that person will be very different to the person that has woken up and thought, you know what, I'm going to put a bit of makeup on, I'm going to do my hair, I'm going to change my earrings, I'm going to put something on that I feel nice in. And I'm not saying it has to be anything fancy. It could be a pair of joggers, but maybe they're ones that have got like a sparkly bit on, or they're like your nice joggers, and maybe you're going to put a nice top with it instead of just wearing a hoodie. You're going to do something that makes you feel good. Maybe you're going to put on a nice necklace that makes you feel good. Maybe you are going to put on a new lipstick. So even if you're not leaving the house, just putting on some lipstick. These things make you feel good. And I was that person after having children. My entire wardrobe was black and grey and beige. The whole thing, everything. Cardigans. I had baggy stuff because I was trying to hide my like post-baby bump. I had baggy trousers. I was living in joggers and hoodies and loose-fitting t-shirts, and nothing made me feel good. And it's no wonder I looked in the mirror and thought, oh God, I just look horrible. Because I was never wearing things that actually made me raise my frequency and make me feel good about myself. And the thing is, my body shape, yes, it has changed because I've been putting good stuff into my body. I do daily exercise. I drink lots of water. I've cut out alcohol. Like I do all of these things that are good for my body because I want to fill myself up with good, nutritious stuff. But there's not been a massive change in like how my body looks when I look at photos. But actually, my posture was very different before. And the clothes that I was wearing was very different before because I was literally wearing frumpy clothes. And if you wear clothes that don't make you feel good, you're not going to feel good when you look in the mirror. Now, I had somebody on the podcast, Samantha Harmon. She talks all about the energy behind the clothing that you wear. So if you haven't listened to that episode, make sure you go back and listen to it. But energy is so powerful. If you can start your day with good things, with filling your cup up with good energy, with fueling yourself with things that make you feel really good. Maybe it is pulling an oracle card. Maybe it is having a nice smoothie in the morning. Maybe it is dancing around your living room. And the thing is, I have 3 kids to get ready for school every day. I still make time for this. And my kids wake up the second my alarm goes off. So there's none of this, just get up an hour earlier. Because if I get up an hour earlier, so will they. So I just do this around them. So I might listen to some music and dance around the kitchen while I'm making the lunches. Or I will say to them, let's have a quick dance. We'll just put on one piece of music. We'll dance around the living room. I will pull my oracle cards, and I'll normally pull one for the girls as well. Like all of these things are helping to raise my frequency, and I'm doing it whilst I'm rushing around doing all the normal day-to-day stuff. When I let the dog out in the morning, I will sometimes step outside and I'll just deep breathe into like fresh air. Simple things. It doesn't have to be big, long things that are going to take up a chunk of your time. So anybody that says to me, I don't have time for this, you do, it's just not a priority right now. But when you make it a priority, things will start to shift. Your energy will start to shift. And when your energy shifts, things flow, things feel good, things feel better. Now, things that I've personally done over the last sort of 18 months or so have been the belief coding, understanding my human design. I work on my energy every single day, and I feel from the minute I wake up, how do I feel? I literally ask myself that when I wake up in the morning. And with different cycles and the moon and like whatever stage you're at in the month, your mood will be different each day when you wake up. It will be like that's just a fact. We're human, and as a woman, that is going to shift throughout the month anyway. So I always check in with myself. How am I feeling today? Some days I might wake up and I'm feeling a bit anxious. Maybe I'm like stressed about something, and I'm like, okay, why is that coming up? And I might go and journal on it, or I might listen to an audio or do a visualization, something that will shift my energy. Now, what most people do when they wake up and they're feeling a bit off is they don't actually check in with themselves, and they start their day feeling tired and they're like a bit overwhelmed, and then they'll try and juggle all the normal things and wonder why they feel really frustrated and exhausted by the end of the day because they've never actually filled themselves up with good energy. Now, when you can start to check in with yourself and see how you're feeling and what might have caused that feeling to happen and how you can shift that energy, that is when things feel better. And everybody has bad days. Everybody, no matter whether you do manifestation work and you work on energy and you know your human design, all of this kind of stuff, everybody's going to have a bad day. Everybody's going to have things that trigger them. Everybody's going to have limiting beliefs that come up when you weren't expecting them to, that will need sort of working through. And this happens at every single stage in your life and your business. So even those people making multi-millions will have these things that will come up. Like it's a fact, they will have limiting beliefs that will come up. So it's making sure that you are aware, being really consciously aware of who you are and yourself, and understanding, okay, what do I need today to change my energy? So if you've woken up and you're feeling really like fired up, like your energy is just like, oh my God, things feel really exciting today. Okay, what can you do with that energy? What could you put out there? Could you create some content? Because when you're feeling in that energy, that is the best energy to be creating any promotional content, to be putting out an offer that feels like it's just popped into your head that you're like, oh my God, this is actually a really good idea. Let's put it out there and see who's interested. When you're in that energy, that is the best time to record your content. So make sure that you're using your energy to your advantage. Equally, when you wake up and you're just not feeling it and you've just had a completely off day, just don't post. You don't have to be on social media every single day. There are people making millions who don't even use social media. It's not, we put these externals into our priorities list because we think we need all of these things. Now, I'm obviously somebody that helps with brand and visibility. So I do want you to be visible because you have magic to share with people. And the more people that can hear about it, the more people are going to want to work with you and sign up to your offers. But everybody is allowed to have a day off. Everyone's allowed to have a week off. Everybody's allowed to lean into what their inner nudge is telling them to do. And this isn't about hiding. This is just about following what feels good for you in that moment. So I know some days, and in fact, for the last, I would say the last week or maybe even 2 weeks, I've hardly posted on Instagram because actually my energy and my inner voice is saying that's not the platform for me. And in fact, it hasn't actually been the platform for me since I shifted my business over. I have much better conversations on other platforms. So Instagram, although I like it as a platform, it's taking energy from me. So I don't give it the energy that I was giving it before. And I've cut that back. And that feels really good. That feels like a really good decision for me. But for other people, they love posting on that platform. It works really well for them. So it means putting energy into that platform and showing up and being visible is amazing for you. But this is what I mean about soul alignment and following your intuition, following your energy, following what your sort of soul path is. And the thing that when I'm saying this, it's so alien because me a few years ago, I'd heard about spirituality and all the woo woo stuff. And although I was interested in it, I didn't really understand it. It was kind of a concept I'd heard of. And like I had a couple of family members that were very sort of spiritual, but I didn't really know in what capacity. And it was just kind of these words that were just floated around. But until I really tapped into this work, it was only when I did that I became spiritually awake. I was like, I saw things differently. Now, have you ever gone to, if you've ever been to London, if you go to London and you get off the train when you've just come into London and you just see this sea of people that are all in black suits, grey suits, they're all just marching like a whole load of ants. It's crazy that society has actually conditioned us from a very young age to work really, really hard, because if you work hard, you're going to get a good job, which will look really good on your CV. You'll be able to get that next good job. And it's about giving your energy and your power away to other people to make them wealthier, to make their businesses thrive. And when you actually watch all these people, like, oh my God, they're so stuck in the 3D matrix. And it's just really eye-opening when you're tapping into this whole energetic frequency and this soul alignment and spirituality and everything, because you're like, your eyes are open to, there is so much available to us. So much available to us. There are so many different paths you can take. There is no one route. And it's really interesting because I was always that kid at school who would get sent out the classroom for talking. I was always a bit disruptive because if it was a subject that I just didn't like connect with and I was struggling to I didn't have the attention span. Basically, if it wasn't of interest to me, I wouldn't have the attention span. I would end up talking, so I would get sent out quite a lot. And then I was told I needed to apply for university because otherwise I wouldn't get a creative job if I didn't. And I was constantly being told the shoulds. You should be doing this, you should be doing that, you need to do that, you need to get the good grades. And I did work really, really hard. I put so much effort into like my revision, into my coursework, into my homework. I always did it the day it was set. I was a good student, but I always knew that university wasn't for me. And from a very young age, like I got my first job when I was 14, 15, just doing a paper round. But I always had that kind of inner nudge of like, I want to be independent. I want to make my own money. And then I got another job at 17. I started my first business when I was 18. And I've just always been a bit of a free spirit in that, no, I'm going to create my own path. If you tell me that I can't do something, I'm going to go and do it because I want to prove to myself that I can. And it's just incredible when you actually start to understand this spiritual work, because it makes you reflect on things, your behaviors from the past, and it then just makes sense. It makes sense why you did things a certain way. It also makes sense why certain things in the past caused traumas or triggers or blocks or any issues that you had that really affected you. You can see why, because it's actually in your soul blueprint. And I know a lot of people that are listening to this now have only just got into this work and are just starting to understand it. And it's such a beautiful thing, because when I first started it, I was like, oh my God, why have I never done this before? Why have I never seen this block? And now it's made me realize where those resistances were and also how to overcome them. And this is the power of really tapping into your inner voice and starting to stand out in a way that is totally aligned to you. And it's why I love to help people build their brands, because when you do this work, you realize where the gaps are. You realize that actually how you're showing up, what you're saying, even your offers, your brand positioning, everything might not actually be in alignment with you. And that can quite often be where the resistance has been when your business hasn't been flowing. And for me personally, I'm going through a shift in my current brand at the moment. I'm going through a bit of a rebrand, because I did one at the beginning of 2024 that was really taking up more space, really powerful, really impactful, really showing up as a leader. But I've realized from doing all of this work that it's not actually aligned fully to who I truly am, because I didn't know who that was like just over a year ago. I was still learning about it. I was still in the beginning of my journey. But now I know exactly who I am. I know when I hear somebody launching an offer, whether it is for me or not. I know whether um, I can tell from somebody's energy when they're sharing something, whether they're actually speaking from truth or whether it is like a copy and paste chat GPT thing. I feel differently about things. I see things in different ways. I connect with people in different ways. My business flows in a different way. It feels much more effortless, and I'm not forcing anything. So I don't do live launches. I don't send cold DMs to people because it's not actually in alignment with me. My human design is about waiting for the invitation. So when people come to me first or invite me to have a conversation with them, then it naturally flows. That is my human design. But for other people, sending cold DMs might actually be really in tune with their human design, and it'll work really well for them. And this is where this work is so powerful. And when you understand it and you can really tap into who you truly are, it makes everything click into place. And this isn't just from a business point of view, but in your life as well. So here are some things that I do daily for my energy practice, for really helping me to claim my power, to give myself space. Because for me, what I want more than anything is to show my children that there isn't just one path of things. If something doesn't feel good, if something doesn't feel like it's the right thing for them, then it's not in alignment with them. And I want them to be able to explore things in a way that feels good to them. I don't ever want them to see me do something that's out of alignment for me and for that to be like a role model for them. I want to show them that I am making time for myself. I want to show them that it's healthy for me to, like when I go and travel and spend time with my mum, that it's healthy for me to go away on my own and do that sort of thing. That it's healthy for me to go and have my solo dog walks on my own at the weekend every now and again. That we don't do everything together as much as we love spending time together. I do things for me. I do things that will shift my energy. I'll go and sit and read a book. I will do my oracle cards. I love my crystals. I do meditation, like all of this stuff, because that is what lights me up. And I do things like coloring. So not all of my time, even at the weekends, is taken on doing stuff for them, because I like the fact that I get to show my children that actually you can be totally independent and do your own thing that feels good to you. You don't have to, as a young girl, if you go up and have children, you don't have to give everything to your children. I mean, obviously, my children are my number one, like they're absolutely like my whole world. I absolutely love being a mum, but I love the fact that they're growing up into such beautiful, rounded girls because of how I treat myself. And I want to be a really good role model for them, that I want them to be their own number one priority. So practices I do every day are I pull my oracle cards every single morning. Sometimes I do three. But the last few days I've actually just been pulling one. So I currently use, I will put all the links in the show notes below, by the way. I currently use the Rebecca Campbell Work Your Light Oracle cards. I love pulling those. I've got about 5 different sets of oracle cards, and I've got tarot cards, but these are the ones that I pull daily, that are my absolute go-to. I would also recommend, for anybody that finds they're giving their power away to other people a lot and they get overwhelmed with things or try to control situations, or they feel like you need to be organizing everybody else all of the time because you're an organized person, I would highly recommend the Mel Robbins The Let Them Theory book. If you haven't already read it, go and get it. I will again put the link in the show notes. That book is amazing. I'm sure you've probably seen her content online. If you don't already, listen to her podcast, because that is really good. But it's all about just let other people be who they are, but also to let you be who you are. And that is kind of what I bring into my life, and I want to be that kind of role model for my children as well. I want them to see that they can just be who they are and that there will always be opportunities available for them. I read a really interesting post the other day actually that was saying 85 or 87%, it was 80 something percent of jobs that will be here in, I think it's like 10 years time, haven't even been created yet. How mental is that? And when you think of the jobs available to us now with the internet, with remote working, with all of this stuff that we can do, like social media, it's wild how much has happened in the last 30 years ago. You couldn't have got a job in social media because it didn't exist. Like you couldn't have had an online job because the internet like wasn't even around, I don't think then. In fact, the internet came around when I was at secondary school. So yeah, 30 years ago, there weren't the jobs available that there are now. So you think what it's going to be like in another 30 years, it's just absolutely wild. There's always opportunities. And this is why I've been really interested in hearing other people's journeys about homeschooling, because the school system hasn't actually changed in however many hundreds of years what they teach children. I think it's just really eye-opening that we're still programming children from a young age to follow the same path that society has deemed as acceptable for generations. And yeah, I'm really, really interested in homeschooling, and it's definitely something I'm going to look into for mine. Although they absolutely love school, they love the social side of it, but just in terms of what they teach, and I don't put any pressure on them at all. So even when they go to secondary school and all of that, like I think how I will be with them, like going through exams and everything, if they go to secondary school, will be very different to kind of my upbringing with, you need to work really hard, because if you don't work hard, you're going to fail your exams and that's the end of the world, because you won't be able to get a job and you won't be able to do all of these things. That actually, that doesn't matter. It's just about following your path, what feels really good to you, what lights you up, what do you want to be doing, because the whole purpose of us being here is to enjoy life. Like life is a playground. It is here for us to feel amazing, to experience passion and love, and yeah, it's all about experience. So if you're literally living your entire life where you're giving your power away to other people, whether you're doing a job that you hate or you're in a relationship that you don't like, or all of these things, and you're just not feeling lit up, like you're just missing out on such an opportunity. So it's really about tapping into your energy and just feeling amazing. And that is what I want for all of my clients. Like everyone that comes into my world always says to me about how my energy has really shifted how they are, in not just as a businesswoman but in their life as well. And that is what I want for my clients, is I want everybody to come to me because they want to really claim their power. They want to build their personal brand from the inside out in a way that is totally aligned to them. And I just love this work. And if you have listened to this episode, I know it's been a long, quite a heavy one, but if you are listening to this episode and this has spoken to you, and you are either in the middle of a spiritual awakening, you've been through one, you're interested in learning more about it, then I would love to invite you to my free networking community, the Soul Aligned Entrepreneurs. At the moment, we have one monthly online networking call, which is usually on the last Wednesday of every month. This month, it's a week early because of half term. And it's 10 to 11 UK time. I am going to be setting up a evening. Did I say evening? I can't remember if I said evening or morning now, but I'm going to be setting up another call, which will be for the US and Australia sort of members as well. So wherever you are in the world, there will be a session available for you, but I will be introducing more networking sessions. If you would love to come along, it's totally free. We had our first call last month and it was beautiful because everybody in there is just into spirituality, has woken up, they're just here to make a change, and they're just beautiful heart-led women in there. So if you would love to come in, just tap the link in the show notes below. We would love to welcome you in there. It's really sort of low-key, just like you can do a little bit of an introduction if you want to. You don't have to, but it's just about connecting, building friendships, and just being part of a space where everybody just gets it. Because I think sometimes when you talk about this stuff, some people are like, what the hell are you talking about, and think you're some kind of alien. So it's just nice to be able to be in a space where everybody gets it, is relatable, and yeah, it's just really beautiful space. So I'd love to invite you in. Just click on the links below. And yeah, the other thing I wanted to finish off with as well is, if you haven't had a wardrobe clear out in a while, go and do that. Decluttering is one of the best things that you can do to shift energy in your house. So I do this fairly regularly. So clothes that I haven't worn in ages that I'm saving for just in case, or kind of things that don't make me feel good, I've been clearing out. I've been selling on Vinted. Um, and in fact, I have actually been really ruthless. So even if there's clothes I think, oh, that's really handy to wear just for like lounging around the house, but it doesn't make me feel good when I wear it, it's gone. Because if it doesn't make me feel good, I don't want to be wearing it, because I'm all about energy and making myself feel really good. So even if it's something that I'm lounging around the house in, I still want to feel nice in it. I still want to feel like, yeah, I still want to look in the mirror and think, yeah, even though I'm lounging around the house, I still look all right today. So I've cleared out loads, and that is a huge thing you can do, clearing out any old clutter that you're holding on to that you don't need anymore. I've got rid of all of my photography stuff, all of the stuff from when I used to be in the stationery world, like everything has gone, because I don't need to hold on to these things anymore. So that is a really powerful way of shifting energy. Just wanted to add that in there at the end. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please do leave me a review. I would love to see your reviews popping up. I personally read them all myself, and I always reach out to those that have left them. And I'm really excited to be back for the next episode next week. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care.